Good evening and welcome to EBN Prime Edition tonight, the 23rd of August, the year 2023. Today we've witnessed Kakamega, or rather former Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, who was taken in by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for questioning with regards to embezzlement of 1.3 billion Kenya shillings, with his political supporters, or rather Azimio leaders, terming his arrest and grilling as a political move by the government. Well, we shall be keeping you up to date with that and many more, but starting us off today, President William Ruto has noted that he will invite TikTok CEO for a talk following complaints that the entertainment app displays lack of morals. Speaking during the Kenya Music Festival Winners State Concert in Nakuru, while President Ruto noted that blocking access to TikTok in the country is not the ultimate solution, and lack of members of parliament to look and would like members of parliament to look for other options of regulating online content.
Tomorrow morning, I will be speaking to the global CEO of TikTok. I know we've had a conversation as a country around TikTok and some of the challenges that are in that space. And like we have moderation capacities of the other platforms, YouTube and Twitter, tomorrow morning we are having that conversation with the global CEO of TikTok so that we can agree on a mechanism to moderate content in their space so that we can reduce the content that is negative and leverage on the monetization that is benefiting a lot more people. We have provided 1 billion shillings that will go in that direction. I want to encourage teachers to step forward, do their best. The teachers who have done this phenomenal job, who have trained these young people, who have written the scripts, who have done the exemplary work, should join those to be promoted in this cycle.
And former Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya was on Wednesday questioned by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission detectives alongside his spouses in relation to the alleged embezzlement of 1.3 billion Kenya shillings during his two-term tenure as governor of Kakamega County. According to the Anti-Graft Commission, ongoing investigations indicate that public funds were unlawfully acquired through proxies and associates during Oparanya's tenure. A section of opposition leaders have termed the arrest and grilling of Oparanya as a political witch hunt organized by the government.
I told them I was not in a position to answer any question until I'm briefed on issues that I'm supposed to comment on, so that I acquaint myself on the issues, because you know very well I left the county 1 year ago and I'm not privy to the documents that they have from the county, and also they wanted issues to do with 2013, 2014, which obviously I could not remember. They never told me the issues. They said they wanted to interview me, and they were saying mostly it was on procurement. Yeah. I have just been hearing that they have been interviewing some contractors. Yeah, but I have not had time to sit with those contractors. And since furthermore I have left the county, I'm not privy to any information about the county. I cannot access any document of the county because I'm no longer an employee of the county. Political, yes. And you can see that I have been in the county for 10 years. No ESCC came to my office, even one day. And I've been away one year since I left governorship. Nobody came my way on any investigation. I was Minister for Planning. Nobody came to my office for any investigation. So I would wonder why, when I have retired, that someone is coming to ask me about 2013, 2014. Is that fair to me?
It is not Oparanya to disrupt a presidential function. You made promises to Kenyans. You made promises about Nzoia Sugar, about Mumias Sugar, about that road called C41. You know it. And C44. So when you go to Western Kenya, you expect that people will ask you those questions. It is not anyone in ODM who's planning to disrupt the presidential function.
In the spirit of creating a conducive environment for dialogue, we are saying stop this police harassment.
Lakini hatuwezi kujua ni makatasi gani yamechukuliwa kwa sababu hawakuturuhusu. Mimi kama wakili wake sikuruhusiwa, gavana mwenyewe hakuruhusiwa. Yule mama ambaye amekuwa pale ndani, ambaye alikuwa anashurutishwa na kulazimishwa kuwatembeza, ni mama ambaye hajui kusoma wala kuandika. Kwa hivyo haezi sema ni nini kimechukuliwa, nini kimeachwa. Kwa hivyo ni msako ambao haueleweki. Japo kuna idhini ya mahakama, ni msako ambao umefanyika na kutekelezwa kinyume na sheria na kinyume na yale maagizo ambayo mahakama ilipeana.
And still on matters grilling government officials, Youth Affairs and Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba has stated that he will not resign from the position despite claims that he is unfit to run the ministry. Speaking on Wednesday when he was grilled by the National Assembly for reportedly mismanaging his office, Namwamba insisted that he has been focusing on improving sports in the country, which was facing great drawbacks before his tenure. Namwamba was asked to appear before the National Assembly to answer on allegations of failing to perform his mandate responsibilities, not showing concern for the welfare of athletes, and improperly utilizing privileges afforded to him by his position.
Honorable Basil, I am not aware of any joyriders being part of any official delegation accompanying any Kenyan team to any event. If it's the event that we are discussing here, the Para-Olympics in Berlin, the ministry was represented by only 2 officers, who I have named here: the CEO of the Kenya Academy of Sports and the acting director of sports. Those were the only officials from the ministry. Her Excellency, the Second Lady, had a delegation, and that is a delegation that we were managing separately. Other than those 2 delegations and the officials accompanying the team, together with the athletes, I'm not aware of any other joyriders. But if the honorable member has any details of any joyriders, I would be more than happy to get those details, Honorable Speaker. But I'm not the Cabinet Secretary. I inherited an arena that was in a total mess, that there is absolutely no sufficient ground that would cause my resignation, because I believe I am performing exemplary well as Cabinet Secretary responsible for this ministry.
And now on matters police welfare, Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome has assured police officers that they will receive salary increments beginning August 2023. Speaking on Wednesday, Koome said that the National Police Service Salary and Welfare Committee, chaired by Eliud Kinuthia, has been actively in talks with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to ensure that officers get an increment. Police officers now in different job groups stand to gain an increment of between 1,255 Kenya shillings and 11,249 shillings, while the support staff who are in different job groups will get an increment between 2,300 Kenya shillings and 11,020 shillings.
One, for all the uniformed police officers, we issue to the IG, having fulfilled his part as a commissioner of this commission and now proceeding as the commander of the service, we issue this circular to guide him on how to distribute whatever resources that we have. So I think that's the first business that we need to do. CEO, where is the place for signing? Here. Okay. It's dated. Another copy for the civilian.
Maafisa takriban 120 ambao wako kwenye kikosi watafaidi kwenye kazi hii na nyongeza za mshahara hizi, na wao wako kwenye vitengo vya DCI, Kenya Police Service, Administration Police Service. Okay. Na wako kwenye sehemu zote za mji wakitekeleza kazi yao. Hii ni siku muhimu kwao.
And now on matters drug abuse and the fight against the vice, right there is Principal Magistrate Jackie Kibosia shocked religious leaders when she narrated the case of a 4-month baby, the youngest addict she has dealt with in Kenya. This case has narrated during the inaugural training of religious leaders in Kenya to fight the source, or rather the surge of HIV and AIDS, alcohol and drug abuse took place on Tuesday at the Bomas of Kenya under the office of the spouse of the Deputy President.
Through a partnership of the Office of the Deputy President and the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, 1,000 religious leaders from across faiths were taken through the training that involved officers and experts from the Council, NACADA and NASCOP, the Judiciary, Police Service and the Kenya Prison Service. In her work in the courts, a 4-month-old baby had become addicted to Smirnoff and was before her following a case of child neglect by the mother. The mother, who worked as a prostitute, said she had no alternative but to give the baby Smirnoff at 6 p.m. so she could sleep throughout the night as the mother went to work.
That means we have half the population as children. And when you talk about drugs, when the police arrest or DPP present the case before me, 70% of those cases are drug-related.
The magistrate urged the religious leaders to be strong on prevention rather than response when the crisis hits families and communities.
So we need programs. And the church is the first stop because you're anchored in the law.
The magistrate also urged the religious leaders to become members of the Court Users Committee to give solutions and collaborate with the country's justice system. The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, joined the training and called on mothers of drug barons to urge their children to stop the killer trade.
Have young men and boys who do not have what it takes to be able to honor, to respect, and to be able to function in a society or in the community. And this one, it does not matter which community, whether they are white or black, whether they are Christians, they are Hindus or Muslim, they are behaving the same.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, Dr. Ruth Laibon Masha, and NASCOP, Dr. Jebet Boit, the religious leaders, were informed about relapse prevention and aftercare post-rehabilitation, including community involvement and different therapies used that include pharmacotherapy, psychotherapy, biological component, and counseling.
Kwa mashule, NACADA tells us about 18.2% ya watoto shule wanakunywa madawa, pombe, ama substance zingine. Na kitu tunasema neglect, child neglect. Yani mzazi kuachilia mtoto. Tunapima hiyo. Sana sana tunaona county ya Nairobi ndiko na the highest child neglect.
Throughout the training, there was a continued call to decriminalize drug addiction and criminalize drug cartels.
You go to the universities, you have taken your children to the university, you have paid and you have sold all your cattle, your land, so that they may go and gain knowledge. And the next thing that comes to your doorstep is a casket after they have committed suicide, and that is what you get.
Cynthia Nanjala for EBN TV.
Well, thank you, Cynthia Nanjala, for the report. And now on matters health, Vihiga County healthcare workers have raised concerns over the increase of mental illness. This was reported during the launch of a program that seeks to give mental treatment to healthcare workers in the county. with the health practitioners complaining that they have been sidelined in the fight against mental illness. The medics led by Emmanuel Wasike now want the county government and other non-governmental organizations to come together to their rescue. In the last 5 years, Vihiga County has reported more than 10,000 mental illness cases, with Vihiga sub-county reporting 8,839 of the reported cases.
We do take good care of our clients, lakini nani anatushughulikia? Hakuna yule ambaye anatushughulikia kama wahudumu wa afya. Na ndio unapata ya kwamba tunaadhirika sana. Unajua, kwa upande mmoja mimi ni afisa wa matibabu, lakini kwa upande mwingine mimi ni mzazi, upande mwingine mimi pia ni mgonjwa, ninaweza kuwa niko na kansa. Ni nani ninaongea na yeye? Kwa hivyo utendakazi wangu utalingana na hali yangu, na ndipo tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya hao wenzetu Mind Kenya kukuja Vihiga na kutukumbuka.
Yeah, we assume daktari wanajua kila kitu. We assume daktari wana madawa. We assume daktari ni wasomi. But they are human beings, they go through issues. I'm a mental health expert. Lakini mimi naendanga kufanyiwa debriefing because I handle people with chronic illnesses. Unakuta kama cancer patients, you walk with people. Unaona tu huyu anaendelea atakufa, huyu amefika stage ya mwisho. We are affected in a way. So nikishamalizana nao, I go for debriefing. Naenda nafanyiwa counseling. Saa zingine we cry because already kuna ile attachment. Sometimes kuna vitu na waangalia, kama ni watoto wadogo, unaona ni umri ya watoto wako. So unaona the pain they are going through. Unaamka asubuhi unaambia we've lost 4 patients, we've lost 5 patients, na wengine hawakuonyesha signs za kukufa. So as a human being inaku affect
wale wahudumu wa afya, wale ambao wanapeana zile huduma pale hospitali. Hao ndio tumetaka kuanza nao kwanza, kwa sababu tunasema hauwezi peana kutoka kwa kikombe ambacho hakina kitu. Kwa hivyo tunataka kwanza tuweze kushughulikia hao wahudumu wa afya, kisha tushughulikia hao wahudumu wa afya wataweza kupeana hiyo huduma kwa jamii.
Well, and still on matters healthcare, Embu County government has received drugs worth 42 million Kenya shillings from Mission for Essential Drugs and Supplies to be supplied to different healthcare facilities in the county. This follows complaints from the county residents of lack of drugs in the healthcare facilities across the county. Medical Services Chief Executive Officer in the county, Jane Karimi, has said that the drugs will be distributed immediately to ease the pressure mounting from the county residents. Let's take a look.
Kwa hivyo tumefanya mpangilio kamilifu wa kupokea hizi madawa katika mahospitali zetu, ambayo kuna wale waakilishi wametoka county, the county health management team ambayo inaongoza hii timu ya kupeleka hizi madawa katika facilities zetu, na wakifika kule kwa facility wanakuta committee ya acceptance and inspection ambayo imeundwa pale ikiongozwa na the facility in charge.
Tunaelewa kwamba saa zingine huenda our demand inakuwa juu sana, especially wakati zile request zipo, demand inaenda juu sana na unapata kwamba zile tests zinakuwa exhausted before that time. Lakini kwa sasa mipangilio ipo.
And the government through the Ministry of Health is seeking to administer bilharzia and intestinal worm drugs to at least 18 million Kenya shillings in the coastal, lake and western regions in the next 3 days. Speaking during the launch of the mass drug administration exercise at the CIA MTC grounds, the Principal Secretary for Health, Mary Muthoni, stated that research findings show presence of the 2 neglected tropical diseases in more than 27 counties in the country.
Neglected tropical diseases is a diverse group of diseases primarily affecting tropical and subtropical regions. And Siaya just happens to be part of that region where the tropical diseases is affecting. And the impact of these NTDs on over 2 billion people globally. You can imagine, watu 2 billion ndio wanakuwa affected na hii magonjwa. Na wamama, wacha niwaambie, Hii mambo ya kupanguza watoto na leso ukitoka pale kuchukua samaki tuache. Si ndio? Unachukua leso, unapanguza mtoto mdomo na ile chakula amekuwa akikula anapatwa na magonjwa, anapatwa na germs. Tuachane na hiyo. Because the effects range from stunted growth. Unakuta mtoto hata hakui venye anafaa. Hindered intellectual development in infected children to severe disabilities. Jana tu tumelaunch mambo ya polio. Na unakuta kama kitu kama polio inafanya mtoto agonjeke kabisa, amekuwa the same case with the tropical diseases. Tusipochunga ita affect watoto wetu, itatu affect sisi na tunakuta tunaendelea vibaya kama wakazi wa nchi. And research findings show presence of these two entities in more than 27 counties in the country.
And Kilifi County government has suspended senior county procurement officers for 90 days following complaints of malpractices from the public. The county government has formed a committee to investigate the allegations and later submit a report to Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mungaro before action is taken to those found culpable.
Of the public, pointing to possible non-compliance with principles guiding the ethics and integrity of public officers in respect to officers attached to the procurement function. Following receipt of this adverse information, a committee has been appointed to receive, document, analyze, and report to His Excellency the Governor any allegations regarding public officers who may have been involved in non-compliance with national values and principles of governance, as well as values and principles of public service. This committee will be constituted as follows. Mr. Peter Mwarogo Samuel, the CC member for Health and Sanitation Services, will be the chairperson. Catherine Kenga, CC member, Roads, Transport and Public Works, will be a member. Eliud Kalama, Chief Officer, Public Service Management, will also be a member. Lerine Kiteme, Chief Officer, ICT, will also be a member. Leonard K. Kalama will also be a member of this committee.
And still in the coastal part of the country, the surge in kidnapping occurrences within Lamu County has stirred concerns among the locals. Reports indicate that majority of the abductions return while they are unwell or with injuries. Concerns have also been raised over potential infringement of legal protocols as individuals are being apprehended without proper legal procedure, leading to uncertainty regarding the whereabouts of the victims. In response, community members have appealed to both the county and national governments to speed up the implementation of measures aimed at enhancing security and tranquility within Lamu County.
In Caps. So today we had planned to raid.
Jambo kusema kweli serikali jambo la kuhuzunisha zaidi kwa sababu mtu anashikwa na hujui mahali anapelekwa na ukienda police station hapo unaambiwa huyu mtu hayuko hapo.
Inatuumiza sana tena kwa sababu utekaji siku zote ni kitu kibaya. Sasa tukija tukitekwa hatujui mtu atakwenda kufanywa jambo gani, na tumeshatekwa, wengine wameenda hawakurudi tena mpaka leo, na wengine wameenda wakirudi wamerudi wagonjwa. Sasa ni jambo ambalo limetuumiza.
Watu wanashikwa kinyume cha sheria kwa sababu sheria kama mtu ni mhalifu ni lazima upeleke habari kwa headman ama upeleke habari kwa chifu. Lakini twashangaa watu wanakuja watu hajulikani, lakini ukisema watu hajulikani kama sisi tunasema tuwajua.
And following President William Ruto's directive to cabinet secretaries to cut down on international trips, Gender CS Aisha Jumwa earlier on Wednesday addressed an international forum on women from Nairobi. CS Jumwa chaired the forum that brought together 26 Commonwealth nations. Jumwa noted that President William Ruto's administration has prioritized women agenda aligned to to the Commonwealth priorities.
Allow me to reaffirm the commitment of the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to accelerate efforts to ensure that women and girls are at heart of Kenya's effort of exploring solutions for protection and empowerment. Finally, let me take this opportunity to thank the Commonwealth Secretariat and member states for allowing Kenya to take that mantle. I also like to wish this beautiful country, the Bahamas, all the very best as they take over the chairing position from Kenya. To all the Commonwealth member states, I urge you to support the chair to realize the benefit of the Commonwealth as a family. I wish you fruitful deliberation as we engage and chart the way forward. Let us all work together to create a world that is desirable for all that women and girls deserve to live.
And now taking a look on what is transpiring in Zimbabwe. 6.6 million registered voters in Zimbabwe have exercised their constitutional rights of deciding their preferred leaders in a secret ballot. This is a highly contested elections, as it is the second elections after the authoritarian leader Robert Mugabe was deposed by the military in 2017. Zimbabwe's 2023 elections comes as the country is facing tough economic times.
I think I'm not going to take it, then I'll be foolish. Everyone who contests, if you're going to rest, you're going to rest to win. And precisely is what I'm doing.
No way. There's not going to be a new government in this country. There's going to be a new leader, a new president, a new government. We are winning this election. We've won this election. They know it. That's why they are panicking. That's why they are conniving with ZEC to do all these funny games. Funny games or no funny games, our victory is certain. We have won this election, and we are going to continue to insist on peace and on a credible election and making sure that we have a legitimate outcome out of this election. Voting is very important. I'm encouraging all the citizens to exercise their right to vote, but I must say that we are disappointed because the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission have disappointed the citizens. People came in their large numbers. In some cases, particularly in Harare and Bulawayo, which are the urban centers where we are very strong, there's not been time-as voting. We're supposed to start voting at 7. Up to this moment, people have not received their ballot papers for certain candidates, the councillors' candidates.
Well, it is quite a very tough, or rather very rough, contested elections right there in Zimbabwe, with the current president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who is 80 years old, expecting to lead for the second term since he started his term in 2017, and also the opposition leader, Chamisa, who is also confident that this time round he will be taking lead as the third president of Zimbabwe right there. We shall be keeping you up to date. We do hope that the counting of votes will kick off any time from now. But remember to keep it EBN TV for more news updates. Once again, my name is Sammy Adika. That marks the end of tonight's EBN Prime Edition. Do have a lovely night.